We're live.
Hello, and welcome everyone to Screams of the Sun, the Changing Breeds Chronicle we are running here on Final Show Films. I am Julia, Casey, and Ozzy of the Zodiac System, and I will be your storyteller for the evening. Yes, buddy, that was you. We are joined by a fantastic cast of role players tonight. They let me mentally and emotionally abuse them every so often, and we like to record it and put it online for you people. So we will start our introductions today with why am I doing this twice, Shawnee or William?
Hi, I am Shawnee or William, and I am playing Callisto Osborne, the Hamid Usmati Gural of the Mountain Guardians.
And why am I doing this twice, Shawnee or William?
I was really hoping you were
I was waiting for
that. Okay. Certified Final Fantasy VIII supporter, Jeremy.
Yes, I am. Because best game. Hi, I'm Jeremy. I am playing Critolarius, a Hamid Nuisha, which if I'm playing in Nuisha, and Nuisha is my favorite breed, clearly I think Final Fantasy VIII is best game.
I'm not sure how you put those two together.
Because Nuisha like making people angry.
You know what? Fair. Yeah. I can see that.
That makes a lot of sense now.
But that aside, yes, I'm sorry, best game. Best Final Fantasy game, not best game overall.
You're not sorry.
That is correct.
The most recent person in call with numerous chances to terminate me for the greater good of humanity, Katie.
What?
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 I understood none of that. Hi, I'm Katie. I'm playing Carrie Nichols, who is a Hamid Korax Hermetic Order of Swift Light.
And we only need to order one more pizza for a free one. Drevian.
Drevian, I play Connor McLaughlin, a Coelacanth Bastet.
And Siobhan, who plays Clover McKee, will unfortunately not be joining us tonight, but they will hopefully be back with us next week. And we will see the conclusion of what Clover has been getting up to in the Umbra.
Ooh.
All right.
Umbra,
the following...
super dangerous.
Yes. Clover left alone in the Umbra. Dangerous.
Clover left alone, period.
That's fair. The following are some good news stories for everyone to have some smiles, because it's just getting worse, folks. So, positivity. In one of India's few wildlife sanctuaries for gray wolves, a litter of 8 pups has inspired the conservation community working to protect one of the most endangered wolf subspecies. Located in the subcontinent's southern state of Karnataka, the Bankapur Wolf Sanctuary is home to many wildlife species, including leopards, peacocks, black bucks, and porcupines, but it's the Indian wolf, a small short-haired subspecies, that is the main attraction. So 8 new pups.
Indian wolves are adorable.
Yes.
Legitimately.
Hold on. Oh, okay. Yeah. They kind of derpy looking. I love them.
They look like big, long, sharp dogs.
Yep.
Oh.
In the UK, a funeral company says that they can now bury you in the world's first living coffin, which is made out of mushrooms. Containing no wood, the coffins are formed out of a mat of fibers, including pliable mycelium, the root structure of mushrooms, and upcycled hemp plants. The thread-like mycelium aids decomposition by breaking down biological matter, and it biodegrades within 45 days. Made by Dutch company Loop Biotech, the coffins can be grown in just a week, and the eco-friendly burials feed the earth as they mix with nutrients from the human decomposition. That mushroom definitely coffin. Sounds like, yes, mushroom coffin. Like fuck yeah. I feel like all the non-binary people just went sold.
My thought went to a vampire character who just routinely gets mushroom coffins, and they're probably like a nature activist at night too.
Fair.
I'm sorry, my brain just went to like, oh, some people will finally be useful.
Remember, folks, you're never useless. You can always be used as a bad example or fertilizer.
I'm on a roll today.
A tribal-led nonprofit is creating a network of native bison ranchers that are restoring ecosystems on the Great Plains, restoring native ranchers' connections with their ancestral land, and restoring the native diet that their ancestors relied on. Called the Tonka Fund, they coordinate donors and partners to help ranchers securing grazing lands access. Funds needed to install and repair fencing, increase their herd sizes, and access market for bison meat across the country.
That
So-
sounds familiar.
Plus, they're fun animals to not mess with.
It also means we will just have a larger bison population.
Which is good, considering, the first time we came through, we tried to eliminate all of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you have a heathen's cow. Sorry.
All right,
That
Oregon
is
Trail.
familiar. Yeah. Tonka also actually sells like bison like bars. Like they sell the bison meat as
Nice.
snacks.
Hmm.
I've had some. They're decently good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Also, interestingly, my town has bison. They're
Nice.
they're in a state park on the edge of town. You can go see them from the car. Hopefully, not up close.
The only thing
Right
I
on.
know about bison is they are bigger than you think. No, even bigger than that.
And
But
like,
not moose sized.
and do not get in their fucking way.
Like bison are big, but they are not fucking moose sized.
No. And if you ever have wanted to experience true terror driving up on a moose in the middle of the night and the moose being in the middle of the road, fucking horrifying.
I was gonna say, if you ever want to do that, rethink your decision
Right,
and
right.
everything that has brought your life to that point.
If you thought
Because-
about that, don't.
If you
You will
if you
fucking die.
if you want to do that, find your closest crisis center and check yourself in.
100%.
Get a
But,
new dream, okay? Get a new dream, like now.
Aim higher.
I will note, moose are taller than bison, but bison are typically heavier than moose.
Oh, yeah.
So what
one is a short tank.
So what
The
I'm
other- the
hearing
other
is
one
we
is a
need
tall-
to
the other one is a
squish
tall
them
ram.
together.
I would still rather face down to be clear, I would rather French kiss a landmine than either. But I would rather, if I was given the choice, I would face down a bison before I would face down a moose.
This is fair enough. Bison, you have to actively try to make them murder you, whereas a moose, you just have to encounter them at the wrong time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you
Oh,
just
no.
sort of have to exist within a mile radius.
Moose, you just look at it sideways. It's like,
No,
you're my shit list now.
Both of them, if you meet it and they're in a bad mood, you're fucked. If you meet them when they're like well fed and in a good mood, they're both fine. They're both
try to
just
take a-
really big and will fuck you up if they want to.
If you try to take a selfie with either of them,
I think my favorite line was a predator.
welcomes you.
A predator will very rarely ever want to attack a human because they have to do the math of whether or not that's worth it. Because they can't hunt while they're healing, and they can't heal if they're starving. A prey animal, however, does not do that kind of math. They look at you, and it is either run away or take you down with them.
The only exception to this is wild boars who just want to see you dead.
Yeah.
Because they're both predator and prey.
And they chose violence for all of their character creation stats. No numbers, just the word violence.
I'd like 3
Alrighty.
dots of violence, please.
I see we're making werewolf character. Good job.
We're making the last Gronder, and he's very fucking angry.
Well, speaking of the Gronder, we should segue to what happened last time. Last time, y'all bodied a dude. Previously, a couple of dudes actually. Our menagerie made their way into Endron proper and were confronted with some situations, namely being the 3-headed beast that Crystal encountered and summarily led out of a 30-story window.
I didn't throw him out of the window.
I said led.
I know. This is what I'm going to tell police. I didn't throw him out of the window. I ran out the window, and he was dumb enough to follow.
No, you
Not
tell
my
him it's
fault
natural
that he
causes because gravity is natural.
Yes.
Then how do you explain the bullet wounds?
Physics.
Gravity pulled the bullets down.
Propulsion.
He walked into my bullets. 9 times.
Listen, I was just firing my gun. He got in the way. It's his own damn fault. It happens.
You can't prove those bullets were not on the ground and he fell on them.
That's true. Somebody on the there's a 30-story building. Anywhere between like 3 and 29. Somebody could have been firing a gun out the window.
Yep.
Security got a little overzealous, said something big outside.
It was the other coyote woman hanging off a window, out of a window, laughing maniacally while firing shots.
From Twitch chat, Your Honor, my client pleads oopsie daisy.
That exactly.
100%.
Oh no.
Absolutely. So Dmitry Karlov took a very quick trip down a lot of stairs.
There were no stairs involved.
No,
I mean, there were stairs on the inside.
Lights there.
Yeah,
he just sort of.
It's a measurement, not a rope.
Your Honor, it was kayfabe.
It was kayfabe.
We are never
Dmitry.
through the summary.
Dmitry was rushed to some medical facility. You're fairly certain. And our group reconvened at Callisto's cabin, where Ringtail had so nicely been cleaning Callisto's groceries.
You skipped over Callisto retrieving.
Yes, I did.
Callisto and Carrie.
Callisto and Carrie got out Icebreaker. Carrie having snuck in through the vents in the previous session. While Callisto made her way into the Endron building through the sewers and had a small interaction and altercation, try to come out of my mouth at the same time as intercation, and that's just not a word. A small altercation with one of the werewolves that has been given to Endron by slamming the same collar that Icebreaker had been freed from around its neck, forcing it back into its wolf form and simply walking out of the building. At which point everyone reconvened, and things were discussed along with a phone call from Doc, who is currently on his way to get as much information as he can about the situation at hand, in situ, and as previous. Because Doc has not come for a full write-up of everything yet. So this will be the first update you guys give to him to give to Mother Webb.
And there was also Carrie and Crystal going off on Ringtail and rapid fire.
Yes. Because Ringtail does. We're still learning boundaries and what the word respect means. So, about a quarter of Callisto's groceries are gone, but that's probably not that big of a deal. The other quarter you can't find because you just they're there. They're just not where they're supposed to be.
I love how Callisto's looking like, what do you mean she doesn't mind? I very much mind.
But yeah, we are picking back up as you finish your phone call with Doc.
Yeah. And she hangs up the phone. Well, Doc's on his way. He'll be here in a bit to get the full rundown of what all's been going on so that we can get that relayed back to the people who put us on this job.
When you say all that's been going on, do you mean like since the beginning of this mission or just like today?
Since the beginning, yeah, because we haven't exactly been giving them any updates.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
that's fine.
Okay.
We got a lot to fill him in on.
Yeah.
If they wanted more updates, they could have checked in more frequently. Tap, tap, tap on the computer.
Really, this is on Doc.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say it, but since Connor said it anyway, not wrong.
I don't blame Doc, but he's not the only one that could have checked in.
I forgive Doc.
I was about to say, you all have people that are supposed to be your contacts as well.
Yes, and mine understands that I'm gonna do things, and that at this point they should probably just wait until it's done and stay out of the way otherwise.
What contacts?
As you finish that sentence,
One wing for you guys.
You get a text message, Crystal.
Okay.
Dancing Cackle gave you her phone number before she fucked off. And all you get in this text message is, "You dead yet?"
I just real quick type back, nope. Through foamer eye out window.
Okay.
At which point I look up case in point.
Like, I haven't heard from Thomas except for getting One Wing's contact info earlier.
The last time I heard from One Wing was getting a flying lesson in trying to figure out who the fuck, is responsible for this. She said, just gesturing to herself.
Yeah, you're not expected to be. I feel like One Wing knows you're not going to be checking in on a regular basis because you're still figuring out how this shit works, both you and Clover.
Yeah, and I'm my other half is in the Umbra right now, so
I'm sure it's fun.
Okay, you keep thinking that.
I will. I will keep thinking that because I have absolute faith in her and you, if you were in the same situation, to be able to handle yourself.
I don't have that merit.
Well enough.
I don't trust Clover in a 7-Eleven, much less the Umbra.
Oh, I don't trust Clover in his 7-Eleven. I do trust Clover in the Umbra.
Ringtail just slowly raises a hand.
What did you do this time?
You're on thin ice, buddy. Speak
What's the
quick.
7-Eleven?
You don't get to find out.
But wait, if Clover can't be trusted, if Clover can be trusted in one, then I can definitely be
No.
trusted in one.
I said
No.
Clover can't be trusted in one. Cannot.
That
To be
goes.
fair, I would
that
trust
goes-
Clover. I would trust Clover at a 7-Eleven to get the best snacks.
Don't. You're not allowed to. First of all, Connor, shut the fuck up. You lost speaking privileges. Second of all, Ringdale, you are not allowed to go to a 7-Eleven.
Why not? And what
Because-
is a 7-Eleven?
Because you will
It
get.
doesn't matter. You don't get to go there.
Because
I
you
look
will
over
be
at Connor. I lean
exterminated.
in. Sorry, go ahead.
You will be exterminated before you get through the door.
I lean into Connor and just whisper very, very quietly, don't tell the raccoon about the places you can get fucking snacked. What's wrong with you?
Chances are he actually already knows what it is. He just doesn't know the name of it.
You don't.
He's probably been in the trash can of one already. If not a 7-Eleven, a similar one.
That's not the point. We don't give him that information because now he can just ask, I don't know who, he probably can ask somebody, where's the nearest 7-Eleven? And then he will be able to go there. Look what he just did.
Can Carrie hear any
I
of?
helped. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This isn't.
Yeah,
This
just
isn't terribly
it got
quiet.
loud after the initial murmur.
Oh, I'm
Ringtail's just sort of like, I'm in the room. He didn't say it, but just like giving that look.
all I'm going to say. All I'm going to say is this: play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
I haven't gotten any prizes.
Listen, we are
Like the
in
box of macaroni and cheese or whatever it was.
we are in non Los Angeles or San Francisco, California, which means what is a 7-Eleven? The answer for you is the place where they shoot rodent class people.
Which is what I've been trying to say. See, in the forest, you're a cute woodland creature. Inside
Yeah.
inside the 7-Eleven, you're why they call pest control. If they don't shoot you first.
Okay.
You want to end up in raccoon prison?
No, you don't get out of raccoon prison.
Because everybody's
Why do I feel like there's a story there?
Maybe I have never been to raccoon prison. I'm outside.
I don't know. That
Do you know somebody who went to raccoon prison?
I mean, if I did, I don't anymore.
Do you know what those words mean?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're having an argument in
don't go to the 7-Eleven. That's all you need to know.
Okay.
I'm sorry I brought it up.
It's fine. He's gonna go to a 7-Eleven at some point now. But
He's
it
gonna
is
go
what
to
it is.
raccoon prison, and we're gonna have to break
He-
him out.
He will go to a 7-Eleven and he will learn what happens when he goes to the 7-Eleven. And he will never go to a 7-Eleven again, assuming he gets the chance.
I don't know. How's his recall?
So, Ringtail shakes a half ripped a box where the top has been ripped completely apart and just is shaking like it's just dried pasta in the box. But he holds the box and shakes at you and says, "Chips."
Callisto looks down at him with that look that says, "You better know better than to ask me what you just asked me."
And just slowly put the box in front of him and put his face into it. A little time goes by.
Callisto goes about rearranging and putting all of her groceries that still exist back in order.
Connor is still digging through what's his face's computer.
Yep.
Okay. Give me another intelligence and technology roll, difficulty 7.
Jeremy, I think you might have accidentally resized the stream window because it just shrank.
I didn't do anything. Like, I didn't even touch it.
I just
mean it
watched it go
shrank?
vrink.
What do you mean it shrank? You're
like
gonna
the
have,
like the entire window. Our cameras and our camera feeds included all just like shrank up towards the top center. Like it's no longer filling the entire stream screen. It's just
that's
like-
not what I'm seeing.
maybe it's on my end.
And I think it's on your end because I'm looking at it right now and it's fine.
As I refresh and see if it does it. Oh no, yeah, it's full back up. I don't know. Oh, it did a banner ad, but my ad blocker.
Oh,
That's why it did that.
You don't mean here. You mean
Like on the Twitch stream. Yeah.
on the Twitch stream. Okay, yeah, no, that's when ads show up, it gets moved up into the top corner. Well,
I've never had that happen with my ad block on, which is why it surprised me. I'm keeping an eye on the
Yes.
stream, so it threw me off.
Yep.
So Julia, you said intelligence technology. Do you mean intelligence computer?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I was like, shit. What did my laptop do? Has it learned to recognize voice and is pulling a Siri on me?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Here's the funny thing. I said its name and it didn't act up. However, if I say the word that means apology,
It will hear you, yeah.
absolutely hear me and assume that I said its name.
Yeah,
Your
I've
phone's
seen
Canadian.
So some of the things that you can find on here, you're able to break into his email fairly quickly. From what you're seeing through email correspondence, it seems like a lot of he's doing a lot of setting up meetings and scheduling for somebody who should have an assistant. So it seems like potentially he's having meetings that aren't supposed to be on company docket, or like didn't necessarily need anybody else to need or want anybody else to know about. You're seeing communications with a lot of distributors for mining equipment. There's a few discussions on negotiations for that. And currently hiring budgets for the Eldorado National Forest project. Looking to hire about 100 bodies. Which is fairly large for a given, could potentially be seen as a lot of people for a given project like this. But yeah, that's what you find sort of just over the hour of looking. There's not a whole lot of just like, here's all the incriminating evidence. But it's finding which pockets of hidden information connected to anything is what you're having. You're finding stuff, just not. You're finding breadcrumbs. You're not finding the trail.
Yeah. I will relay that the project in the Eldorado Forest is looking for 100 people. Like, that's a significant number and something we might warn the wolves of as well.
There any information about any other projects or just the El Dorado?
There's tidbits of a lot of stuff. It's like he's setting up a lot of meetings and
Any way to tell who with, or just is it just dates and times?
It's all dates and times. And it seems like it's either a Mr. or a Mrs. or a president or and then just like the first letter of their last name. It's all fairly concise and it seems like he had a lot going on either somewhere else or all in his head that he was keeping track of.
Mm-hmm.
Dolby, these were
Interesting.
emails, so they should have
Yes.
another there should be another side to the conversation.
There are, and a lot of you're seeing a lot of talk with distributor parties, a few from manufacturers, and like 4 hiring agencies that they're going out of.
I will be right back. My food just arrived.
Awesome.
Heck yeah, food.
Yay, food.
So you're saying that he's keeping these on the side, so to speak. Am I getting that right?
What it sounds like.
Interesting. Like somebody's doing something that they don't want.
It also comes
Is
across
wormy
a little,
employers involved in or knowledgeable of?
yeah. It also comes across as a little weird that he's reaching out to the hiring agencies and not someone in middle management. But that's what I've found so far.
So here's my next question. A lot of stuff has happened. How are we going to sum it up to Doc?
Um,
I am back.
Welcome back.
that is a lot has happened. We can sum it up pretty straightforward. I feel like I'm going to know the answer to this and be disappointed, but are we telling them everything that happened? Is there anything we should, shall we say, hold back?
I mean, I feel like at this point, if we hold too much back, Mother Webb will figure that out and be right cross, and I don't feel like that's a place you want to be at.
I don't feel like there's anything we got to hide. Maybe that's just me.
I mean, it's not like the wolves that'll go off the handle at the slightest provocation.
Right.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of why this whole thing is here, is to try and stop that kind of thing from happening.
Yeah, I legitimately wasn't suggesting that we do hide
Right.
something. I'm just trying to think if because you're right, there's a lot. I'm trying to think if there is anything that maybe, you know, I'm not saying, I know you said if we hold too much back, I agree. I'm trying to figure out if there is anything.
I don't think so. Not that I
Not
can
that
think of at the moment.
mm-mm.
Besides maybe not going into detail about like what happened with the as a player, I can't think of his name. The kinfolk that we gave back.
Oh, I
Aaron.
mean, Doc's already familiar with what happened with that.
Oh, that's right, he was part of it.
Doc was there.
Yeah.
So, to be clear, we're going to drop all the information about Clover's vampire friend.
That's not part of the case.
It kind of is.
How so?
Because, despite my concerns about the fact, said vampire did provide some information. That's why I'm saying, and that's probably the most extreme example, but we need to look through and see if there's anything. We need to go through it in our heads and see if there's anything that we perhaps don't want to tell. Because if we do explain that, I'm pretty sure that that vampire has had their life, the undeath expectancy lowered significantly the second it leaves our mouth.
That's fair. Though Doc knows my opinions on that regard, but in
Doc
general,
might know your opinions, but Doc might politely disagree and be higher ranked.
yeah,
And Doc might tell Mother Webb, who might not share that opinion.
yeah.
Exactly.
But in that particular case, I think we can just refer to them as a friend.
I would say, like, we can give the information without specifically saying, oh, hey, our vampire friend, Clover's vampire friend named.
Absolutely.
They're going by.
Agreed. And that is, I'm saying we should run through all the stuff we've done and see if there's anything else we might want to just skim over a little bit. Because I'm thinking, and I'm not coming up with anything, maybe keeping our the identity of the person we got some of the what's her name, the kinfolk from up north.
Katarina.
Yes, Katarina. Maybe not mentioning that we got some of our information on Dimitri / Jared from Katarina.
Yeah. I mean, you guys know more about that situation than I do. You were the ones that went up there, so that call.
That we can just say we can
I'll
just
leave
say
that
we
in your
did some
hands.
investigating and blah.
Yeah. I mean, there's ways to present the information without.
Yep.
Saying exactly
100%.
where it came from.
Those are the only two things that I can personally think of. Is Stingboy and sad Seattle girl.
I mean, do we need to include the information about the big Raven Crow bottle of ink guy?
I don't see why that has.
Okay, so we leave that out.
I mean,
But One Wing already knows that stuff, so
I was about to say, One Wing already knows about your interactions with someone.
but that doesn't have anything to do with what we're doing as a group.
Yeah. What was someone the name he went by? I forget.
Unimportant.
Unimportant. Yeah, your
Unimportant.
interaction was unimportant.
Yeah, specifically relating to what we've been looking into.
Stay on the path. Got it.
I'm basically out of. I'm trying to figure out because I assume we are not going to recount this all in character. We're just going to say blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what parts we aren't saying so that storyteller knows that we have not revealed said bits of information and doesn't assume.
Yeah. So
I appreciate that.
yeah. So presumably just not revealing the fact that one of our contacts is a vampire and not revealing that we got some of our information on Dimitri from Katerina up north.
I'd be more comfortable if we called them an associate among us and not a contact. But yes, actually, no, that somehow sounds worse.
Yeah,
I'm
so
rethinking my own plans.
would you rather be associated with a vampire or would you rather have a contact who's a vampire?
Yeah. Let's just call him a Godier song.
Someone that
Fuck.
you used to know.
Correct.
I hate you so much.
Connor
The-
takes a gummy, lays back, and muses to himself. I wonder if my pharmacy has sold sunscreen to a vampire before.
There is a knock on the door.
Callisto goes to get the door.
I hope for that vampire's case sake you haven't, because that's a dead vampire. Or maybe I hope that you have. It depends on how bad the vampire was.
If I go outside in enough sunblock, I'll be fine.
Listen, I've seen Blade. I know how it works.
Oh. Doc is standing at the door.
What is the line of like absolutely covered before you can temporarily journey in the sun?
In the world of darkness, not enough.
Like, is it like completely wearing like shaded out hazmat suit?
Like, if you windows do not protect you. Anything translucent does not protect you. the amount of sunscreen that you have to be covered in is a solid
Like
opaque
Stay Puft,
block
or cylinder that
Like
completely
Stay Puft
uncovers
Marshmallow
you
Man.
up. If the sun can see you in any way, you're fucked.
So any helmet you wear has to be completely blinded.
Pretty much.
Like, because it's not actually a matter of physics. Like, oh, they're not just sensitive to the sun. It's like a spiritual. The
Correct.
sun says "fuck you."
There's a little flexibility on it. Like if you are indoors and you open up a window, or a window is slightly open, and you can see out it without the sunlight actually hitting you, you're probably okay if you're completely covered in shadow. But like, also, why risk being set on fire?
It follows awning rules, is what I'm hearing. Is like if you
Yeah.
can see the spot where the sun is and where the shadows are, as long as you're not in the sun spot.
The gist is, it's not a UV rays problem.
Yeah.
So any of the creative stuff that has been shown in vampire movies, where like I'm covered head to toe in SPF, or I'm using something that blocks UV rays, plexiglass, something other than that.
Full body
um,
concealing bodysuit outfit.
I'm fully convinced that is someone in Hollywood years ago was like a werewolf or a vampire hunting like Order of Hermes mage was like, what if we put this in there and it makes them think, it makes the dumb vampires think that they can use this to be safe. We're eliminating a bunch of them without ever having to fight them.
I love this.
I mean,
so
like,
much.
a thin sheet of wood works. Like, it's not like it has to be that thick.
No, but it has to be thick enough that, like, in
Completely
most
opaque.
situations, if the sun cannot reach you, you probably cannot see through it.
Yeah.
Because
So Doc's
vampire
at the
vision is still relies on physics for the most part.
But
Anyway, so
Anyways.
Doc.
Yes.
sorry.
Stuck at the door.
So
That was a fun
Yeah.
tangent.
so Doc is on the other side of the door. He has a thermos of coffee and is actually dressed down compared to when you've seen him usually. Is actively in a t-shirt and jeans, which is for you, Callisto, not too out of the ordinary since you've been around him a lot more than the others. But for the others, it's like, oh, Doc wears something besides khakis and button-ups.
I spent the entire year traveling the States with this man.
Yeah.
I've seen him wear everything. And some things I didn't want to see him wearing.
Listen, he will defend his Crocs until the end of time.
Fair.
My thought went to the image of like Smokey the Bear in a speedo.
Oh God.
See, I just went to like actual bear outfit, like tight tank top, spiked collar kind of thing, you know.
I was gonna say, Druvian, that is not the kind of bear I am interested in.
But Doc does come inside. And yeah, you see him stop and look at Ringtail.
Hi.
Totem spirit.
Really?
Apparently the menagerie
Interesting.
needed one.
That's interesting.
One way to put it.
I mean, more power to you. By all means, do your own thing. And Ringtail just sort of takes his head out of the box, looks at Doc for about 5 seconds, and then puts his head back into the box of pasta.
We're still learning not messing with my shit.
We're learning about boundaries.
Yeah, they're
Several new
dumb.
Danish words.
All I can imagine is like rattling pasta. Yeah, they're dumb, muffled out of a box.
Okay. Well, you guys have been having fun in here. And he will take a seat. So, I would say start from the beginning, but I have a Nuisha in the room, so start from
I
the
was just about
beginning
to
of
say.
the investigation from your guys'
Well,
side.
you see, in the beginning there was darkness, and then
All right, so going over the details of what's actually happened over the course of this investigation. Still, we'll start explaining what she knows, allowing room for people to interject with when their perspective is more relevant than hers,
Yeah.
etc. Leaving out the
How-
things we've already talked about.
Mary will relate whatever information she's gleaned from her undercover missions, undercover dates.
Okay. He listens and just takes notes the entire time. He offers a few side comments or will like ask clarifying questions, but is fairly quiet throughout the entirety of the thing.
So yeah, in summation, at the end of that, the biggest important thing is probably that whatever Andron is doing, they're trying to dig up the big dangerous things that are buried in the woods and kidnapping and brainwashing kinfolk. Thus far, we've only confirmed kinfolk of the Guru, but I don't want to rule out the possibility of other kinfolk to try and serve as assistants in that plan. Though they only seem to know about the Guru. They don't seem to really have any information about anyone else.
I was going to say, well, I mean, did anyone interact with any of you outside of being people?
Any of who specifically?
Anyone from Endron who has any form of anybody who might take note of that.
I mean, I had a pretty delightful interaction with somebody from Endron.
I mean, yeah, you did shoot the Fomorian out the window.
Retroactively, I think we. Sorry, if we're not allowed to retroactive this, that's fine. Are we going to mention Carrie's not boyfriend as a source of information?
Carrie already gave the information about her her undercover stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say that's
Yeah, I didn't name him. It's like Indron employee I met at a bar.
Yep.
Who thought I was pretty and wanted to talk.
Yeah, talk. But after everything is finished, he will set his legal pad down, pinch the bridge of his nose. Okay, that's well, I mean, there's never an easy apocalypse.
Well, all things considered, I think we've handled this current situations pretty effectively, but there's still a lot to do.
Yeah, seems like you all have a lot of plates still spinning in the air.
Yeah.
But that's good. I would rather you all still have a bunch to work on and leads to continue to pull at than be at an impasse at this point. No, this is fantastic news. I mean, this is awful, but this is fantastic information.
You're glad to have more information on it.
Yes.
Yeah. And we've still got plans and ways to proceed. We're not stuck yet.
True. Very true. So what's your all's next step?
Well, with the recent rescue of Icebreaker, that's got at least towering giants willing to put more security around the areas with known giant dangerous things buried. So that conversation went well.
Yeah, I think we may need to take a look at this Pyramid Peak.
Yeah, that's one of my big concerns right now is how secure is that? Because that seems like the most dangerous thing that should not be let out under any circumstances.
Yeah, I don't mean to be the asshole here, but the Gru are in charge of it, so probably not enough.
I have to agree with you. Don't get me wrong. I love our cousins.
Yes.
They are delightful for what they have done. But I cannot forgive the past dies hard.
You're telling me.
They're very good at keeping at yelling really loud and getting the worm's attention while the rest of us do the work.
I agree.
I really wish I knew more about this conversation.
Uh, Doc will look and raise an eyebrow. Or no, it would have been discussed that you don't know. Yeah, never mind. You'll just look over at you. Do you need to continue studies with One Wing, or
Yeah, that was the
what
plan.
was his
that-
name?
One Wing. That was the
Or
plan.
unimportant, yeah.
And then
Yes.
stuff happened, and more important stuff than history lessons happened.
It's a little back burner right now due to
So
the pending apocalypse.
I kind of took the very short flying lesson and I would say ran with it, but I flew with it. And that's pretty much what I've been able to use so far. I don't know enough about interbreed politics and niceties, and
Short version is the Gru have kind of fucked up every other breed at some point or another. Them hardest of the ones that are still alive.
Yeah, I was about to say, do not forget our fallen comrades.
But them hardest, probably the Ananasi a close second. And then it's just degrees from there, but we've all been fucked over by them at some point because they think that they are the most important and the prettiest of the princesses. And anytime somebody tried to say, hey, maybe you're not, um they turned their Regina George wrath on us.
I understood that reference.
And I understood that reference.
Or, anytime someone dared to imply that maybe the warriors who go forward and kill everything shouldn't have the ability to raise the dead at their whim.
Or that, like I said, any time that they were.
Anytime someone tried to deny them something, they took it personally.
And that's
The
not even just
wolves-
among us. That's among their own.
The wolves don't like being
There
told
used to be
no.
more tribes.
wolves don't like what?
Being told no. Even by Gaia, they will find ways to, as has been shown from the Black Spiral Dancers, they will find ways to do what they want. Now, that's a extreme circumstance, but
They're the men of Gaia's warriors.
it's one way to put it.
Think about it.
I'm just wondering, and maybe this is just me being ignorant. And I know Crystal will let me know if that's the case.
I don't tell you you're ignorant.
Not to my face.
I don't tell you it behind your back either. I tell other people it behind your back. No, I don't do that either.
As I was saying, I understand what you're saying about the guru, and I get it. I mean, we've all been through high school. Most of us have been through high school. But that's not to say any of the different see here, I don't know the word.
Ending breeds?
Any of Gaia's children are like without the pros and cons, if you know what I mean. So we can talk about the pros and cons of the guru all day long, but don't we actually have to turn that mirror on ourselves too?
We do.
So you're not entirely wrong. Here's where I would say the difference between you two. This isn't a high school situation. This is a what's the least offensive way that I can describe this difference? Um,
Civil War.
that's probably
That's probably the
honestly
least
that is
offensive way you can
probably
put
the
it.
least
Yes.
offensive way that you can put it. And more to the point, um, do we all have our own problems? Yes.
There,
Absolutely. Even the Nuisha. There's a reason we don't hang out with each other very for long periods of time. But
there might could be said to have been a tribe of Gaia's children that never did anything wrong, but they're dead.
they're dead because the other group killed them.
Because it would probably be the Gronder if it was anyone.
The difference between us looking at our problems, which is a thing that we should do, we should all grow on a personal basis, and the Gru looking at their problems is when the Gru are 80% of the situation. They are the dominant society, whether we like it or not, of Gaia's children. And our problems, the Nuisha's problems, I feel personally, and others may disagree with me on that, are ones that limit our own effectiveness as a breed, but don't necessarily contribute to the ills of Gaia's warriors as a whole. We have never killed an of Gru or whole other changing breeds because we didn't like the way that we didn't like whatever it was. Let's not talk about the werebats and how they were obviously worm type creatures because they're bats. There's more blood on one set of hands than there are on the other. That's the gist.
Got it.
Which isn't to say that there are no good guru. There are plenty of them.
Oh, there are plenty of great ones.
I'm not trying to be sanctimonious.
No,
I just want to make sure, as somebody who is learning this society, that I'm not going in with inherent biases.
absolutely, Carrie Hun. That mindset and looking at this from beyond the ways that you're being told are is incredibly admirable, and no, any new show would praise you for that because that's the whole point. We need to look at this shit differently because I don't mean to be the pessimist here, but we're losing the war, and not like in an a 52-48% kind of way. We're losing it in like a 65-35, if not higher way. It's
Well,
a
yeah.
rout. It's a recent Super Bowl game level route
Gotcha.
to where it's not even fun for the bystanders to watch anymore.
Makes sense.
We're the Drakes, they're the Kendricks.
I understood that.
Connor doesn't understand that reference, but is just laying there on the ground anyways.
He had a gummy. He's fine.
Yep.
We're the MGKs, they're the M&Ms.
I do resent some of the specifics of that comparison, but yes.
I mean, like in terms of margin of victory,
I get what you were going for.
we're not trying to strike a chord here.
I understand we're not talking about personality. We're talking about like overall like
Right.
mic drop situation. Okay. Yeah, got it. Okay.
This is very thorough. This is a lot of good information and a lot of things that I can take back to Mother Webb. Is there anything in particular that you would like me to highlight on?
If we could keep an eye out for missing kinfolk all over this area, that's going to be relevant.
Yep.
I will have everybody start putting out feelers.
Because we need to know what lines of information they've got that we're missing.
Jock pulls out his phone, sends a text message real quick. Yeah, no, and I will get in contact. One of us will get in contact with you about if any kinfolk go missing. That way, not only are we all up to date on everything, but you five, as actively working on this, can be updated as well. I think our next steps are getting out to Pyramid Lake and getting eyes on that area, just so we can see fortifications, how patrols are going, and how easy it is for the public to just sort of walk around it.
Yeah,
That's going to be...
I think I might head up to the Towering Giants and ask Doom of the Mountains if Thunder can show me around.
They
Other
trust
option,
you. Go on.
Why don't we just go?
Because if they're doing their job right, they're going to stop us, and we don't need to start that fight.
That's exactly my point.
Especially if they're guru that don't know us.
I want to know if they're doing their job right and not getting the guided
Then let's
show off our best face tour.
Then let's do both.
Okay.
I will trust you. I will trust you to probe their defenses quietly.
Wait, you're trusting Crystal to do something quietly.
I'm trusting Crystal to do what Crystal does best.
I will point out that before I sent Jared out a window, I made it up to his office without anybody knowing I was there. I just know when to make my entrance.
But to answer your question, Buri-jaan, yes, they at this point, I think they have the closest thing that any guru has to trust in a girl.
If and when this comes to head and bodies are needed, I'm going to give you all some phone numbers. I'm going to give you one. If shit really hits the fan, call that one first.
Are we talking about like a DEFCON 5?
No, DEFCON 5 is very, very blasé. It's DEFCON 1 that you want to be worried about, because the DEFCONs go backwards and no one remembers that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Good to know.
But if
lower is bad for DEFCON.
If it does get to DEFCON 1, yes, call Mother Webb first.
How many Ananasi are there in this region?
I am not entirely certain. She has kept that number from me hidden fairly well.
She's smart.
She's
in other words, more than we think.
More than we think, less than we need, if I were to guess. No, I don't know if any Mother Webb is in her 80s. It is not often that one of us gets to be old. So
Doom of the Mountains somehow managed it.
Yeah, the wolves generally have a whole pack keeping them alive.
Yeah.
He will clear his throat and sort of sit up straighter. Let the mask slip for a second. Just gonna the That being said, Doom of the Mountains is in his 60s and is doing. Or sorry, no, he's a lupus. That's the storyteller's brain. He's in his later years, so probably won't be long before we hear a howl in the middle of the night from the entirety of the set.
Do Lupus Guru get more humanish lifespans, or are they still on like wolf lifespans?
They get from the point that they change, their human lifespans typically. Wait, I think so. Their human lifespan, I think, from there.
That sounds right.
So, but like the first 15 years of their life is covered in about a year.
Yeah.
But and he gives you the number from Madam Web, Mother Web. I did it this time. Mother Web.
Gave us the phone number for a bad movie.
I knew you were going to say that.
Not even.
I haven't even seen it, but
like
I know not to.
Listen, it is not a good movie, but it is not the great Satan of movies that everybody pretended it would be. Especially, I'm not going to tangent too much on this, but I was just sitting back watching as people lambasted it as the worst thing ever. I was like, motherfuckers, you know the Craven the Hunter is coming up in less than a year, right?
Would you say that Craven is?
Hold the phone.
Would you say that Craven is worse than Madam Web?
By a long shot. It is the worst Marvel movie that at least of the 21st century. Keep in mind, that includes like the Fox Daredevils and Electras and the Ghost Rider sequel and like shit like that. It is that fucking bad. I can't say it's the worst superhero movie ever, because there are some really bad ones from like the 70s and 80s, but
what about the Conan sequels? People forget that Conan is a Marvel property.
Conan was only a Marvel property after this point. Because obviously it was pulp novels from.
I'm pretty certain that actually the Conan the Barbarian movies are considered the first Marvel movies.
They're wrong, I think, unless they're produced by Marvel, because they're anyways. They're. I would watch the Conan sequels over Craven.
So Mother Web.
Yes, sorry.
So you get Mother Web. All of you get Thomas's number. All of you are given One Wing's number. And crap, where is that? Because my brain is a sieve and I just lost everything.
Marvel Comics published Conan from 1970.
I mean, fair enough. I would still, yeah. Anyways,
still call Craven worse.
That is a debate for another time. The reason I would say so is because it's not based off any of those comics, and Marvel is not a production partner on it at all.
Fair.
You guys also get the number for a Thomas Dunning.
Is that a name I recognize?
Yes, you would. That's the elder for the Ajaba.
Okay.
Changing breed. Thomas also goes by Broken Fang as a deed name.
Would Connor recognize it? As in, are they? Connor is probably one of the few changing breed pharmacies.
Mm. Yes, actually, you would.
Okay.
One of the few places where the changing breeds can get medicine. No questions asked.
And then lastly, the number 2 Saddleback, which is the elder Macaulay.
Mary is just going to put little emojis next to these people's names so she can remember.
Hyena emoji, spider emoji, cat
What?
emoji, dragon emoji.
What kind of do we? I wish she will ask Doc directly. Do we know what kind of Macaulay Saddleback is?
Uh-huh. Saddleback is a Saddleback is a dinosaur shifter.
For real?
Are we talking T Rex or Triceratops? I don't.
T-Rex.
Good to know.
I think maybe Raptor.
Some
Or
kind
something.
some kind
Yeah.
of thing that walks on 2 legs and has big
Yeah.
teeth.
Yep, two-legged, multi-fanged dinosaur creature.
Holy crap.
Yeah, we said their guy has memory. They remember the things that don't exist anymore.
If it makes you feel any better, his animal form's just a giant saltwater crocodile. But yeah, his Krynos form is horrifying. Saddleback is also up there in age, but regardless, these people are individuals you can contact. Like I said, if shit hits the fan, call Mother Webb, because she is quite literally. I hate that we fit our creatures so much. She has webs and is connected everywhere.
Fair enough.
If you've got stereotypes and you like it, lean into it.
There's one thing she knows: it's how to weave social and political influence.
I mean, I like to talk and I like shiny things. This is really not a surprise to me that I ended up where I did.
Connor on the floor, like half blissed. I like Madame Webb. She refers people to me quite frequently. Good place to get their medicines.
The doc just kind of leans back and just waves over top of Connor. All right. So before I go and leave you all to, he looks at Ringtail, who has discarded the pasta box, and has honestly been sitting there very quietly, just sort of patting his thighs every once in a while. Whatever else you all have going on this evening. Good
Thank you
luck
for
in
that.
your investigation. Again, if there's anything else you guys need or any further developments, feel free to reach out.
Will do.
He gets up, walks over, opens the door, and stops because on the other side of the door is an individual who is reaching up to knock.
Callisto looks over.
I think Connor would know her just because you're the pharmacist in the area. There is a African American woman on the other side of the door, short cropped hair, in a leather vest with a fur lined collar and black jeans tucked into biker boots. She takes a step to the side and gestures to let Doc through and pats him on the back and then smacks his ass before sliding in and closing the door behind her.
I cannot assume you to be anybody but Dancing Cackle.
In the flesh.
Hey girl, what brings you by? As Connor rolls on the floor to look at her.
You're in a good mood.
Also, does no people know Doc. Everyone knows where my house is. Yeah, that tracks.
I was gonna say a little bear told me where to find you because I was looking for this chica.
I didn't do it. That's not true. I did do it.
But you did. I need to know all the details.
100% did do it.
And Dancing Cackle, just like a teenage girl at a sleepover, just lays herself over your furniture and looks at Crystal and goes, "I need you to tell me everything."
All right, so check this out. So we had to get inside the building for, I don't even remember why at this point we just did. There are a lot of reasons why. There's the whole thing that we're doing, you understand.
I don't think that's the part she wants to hear.
And so, went to the bar that we know that all the End Run employees hang out at. Snagged a badge off one of them. Walked right in. I don't remember the name of the gift.
Salary man.
Yeah, salary man. Walked right in. And then decided it was time to head up. So took the elevator, and then I took the elevator shaft. Because there's only so far the elevator was going to get me, obviously. Headed up there, jumped across the gauntlet, headed in. That whole office was a lot. There were a couple spiders. I told them no. They understood. And then found his room, walked in there, saw him there. Timing was right. I think we coordinated this, didn't we coordinate it? I don't remember.
No, this was a happy accident.
Well, no. I mean coordinated when I pulled the trigger.
I asked for a distraction, and you decided that was going to be
That's right.
Yeah.
We needed a distraction. So obviously, distraction time. Shoot the head of the company in the back of the head. He got angry. He turned into Jeremy does not remember because it's been a few weeks, but I will describe him. I remember there were 3 heads.
Yes. Yeah.
Didn't turn into. That's just what he was in the Umbra.
Right. But like that's right, because I never left the Umbra. He got angry. He ran. I jumped out the window, grabbed onto the side. He jumped out the window, did not grab onto the side. He managed to catch himself a little bit down, but I fixed that. And then he fell, went boom.
You literally just described a Wile E. Coyote gimmick, right?
I'm aware. Listen, we just said it not too long ago. Sometimes you have to lean into the gimmick.
Oh, to have been a fly on the wall, that would have been amazing to see. I can't believe you got somebody to actively follow you out of that.
You
I've heard
have
of
to get them angry enough.
But
even the smartest person in the world has a point where when you push them past that point, their IQ drops into the negatives and they fight or flight. Just have to push the right button, so fight's the only option.
Pull the right trigger.
Uh-huh. Literally
That is
is a lot of fun.
that is fantastic.
You've met everybody else, right?
No, I haven't.
So have you met any of them?
Uh,
Besides Connor.
I do know Connor very well.
That's true. That's true. That's Connor. He's baked out of his mind at the moment. That's Callisto. Don't worry. The disapproving stare is normal.
Oh, that one
Um,
comes like that. Okay.
Yes, that one comes. That is factory default settings. That's
Maybe I
Carrie.
should say don't
She's.
poke the bear.
I would like to introduce. So I would like to introduce you to the concept of Nuisha. That one's Carrie. She's new.
Hi,
She
I'm
was
Carrie. I'm
her.
a Korax, and
Well-
I am still learning how to be a Korax because
Yeah.
She leans back in her chair, looks you up from top to bottom a few times. Nice.
her the person who turned her into a Korax needs to be given a
an
gentle
opportunity
reproach,
to explain themselves.
a gentle reproach. As I said,
That's not what you were going to say.
no, it was.
Mm-hmm.
You're just not letting me finish my sentence. A gentle reproach with a 2x4.
And there it is. Yeah, but if we hit them with a 2x4, then there's no answers.
That's not true. They're a Korax. They won't die. I didn't say a gold 2x4. I just said a 2x4.
There's plenty of places you can hit with the 2x4 and still get answers.
I can smack Callisto with a 2x4. Callisto will be fine because Callisto is a Graal.
Yeah,
Wait,
Callisto will be fine. You will
are we-
not be.
Are we allowed to hit you with a 2x4?
Callisto looks over. That depends. Do you want to run?
The answer
No,
isn't no, though.
I did my exercise this morning, so
That's
I'd
what
say
you never understand.
Exercise.
That's not a no.
that isn't a no.
It isn't, because you're welcome to try, but the consequences are on your own head.
Oh, no, that is absolutely fair.
Play
But-
stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Points at
No,
points at
hers-
Carrie.
To be fair, Carrie's, I think, based on what we've heard, only needs to be very gently reproved with 2x4. Clover's not here, but if I remember correctly, the person that turned her into a Korax needs to be sternly reproved with a 2x4.
Yes, to
Connor?
be fair, they did do it to save my life from a
Right.
car accident. So we're gonna give them a few points. We're not gonna give them a lot of points. We're gonna give them a few points.
No, because they could have stuck the fuck around or showed up later and said,
Yeah, but
hey,
generally,
now that I've
like,
done this thing.
why are you anyway?
Connor pulls
People
out
don't
a
tend to
pad.
stick around accident scenes because they don't want to get blamed.
Connor pulls out a memo pad, draws a 2x4 on it, folds it up into a paper airplane, and throws it at Callisto.
And with
Callis-
that,
She
So we're gonna
reaches
go
out
to
and
break.
catches it as it comes at her.
remember when we take our break, you take your break. So stand up, stretch your legs, walk around, do whatever you need to do, and we will be back in just a few minutes after these commercial messages.
We're back.
We are back. Okay, so Dancing Cackle is currently discussing with your group the details of the comedy of brilliant decisions that were the raid on Endron earlier. I can't believe I would have. Oh, you are going
I
to
would
have
have
a
called you,
story
but we
to
were a little
tell.
busy.
You are going to have a story to tell around the campfire forever.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of stories, you wouldn't happen to know anybody who could identify what the hell the wolf creatures that Endron is employing are, would you?
Wolf creatures.
I gave this information to Doc, but Endron has been apparently employing creatures that are not black spirals, but they're definitely something wolf-like and worm-like.
They're I believe the technical term for it is an unholy abomination.
Well, that is
They're like a guru, but not a guru. They don't seem to have a humanoid form. They only have, as far as I can tell, either war form or wolf form, and both forms
And
look wrong.
Not capital A abomination, to be clear.
thank you. That is very, very needed.
Carrie, for
Um,
reference, an abomination is the capital A term for us is when a vampire turns a guru, or any one of us for the 5 seconds that most of us will become one, into one of them.
okay,
I remember getting told about
I'll
those
make a
as
note
like
of
a
that.
horror story one night.
It's the worst thing that can happen to you, almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
Werepires are not a good thing, and they don't last
Fu-
long.
Fun fact: every changing breed acts differently when one of those is created.
Yep. This is why we love Coyote so much, because Coyote says it's not the only reason, it's one of many reasons. But when that happens, Coyote says, no, you can't have that one. And we don't turn.
Not the funniest story I've heard.
We die, but we don't turn.
Not the funniest story I've heard about what happens to one of the changing breeds. The funniest one is the Kitsune.
Oh yeah.
What
Kitsune
hap-
are great.
What happens to them?
They go up
They-
in a pillar of fire and take the vampire with them.
I want to see that.
It's
No,
not as fun as you think it is.
for the record, if you get embraced, you will have just enough time to make your final put your affairs in order before you die the next sunrise.
I
It's preferable to surviving.
I feel like this is all one giant test I have not studied for.
It's fine. That's why we're informing you now.
You say they didn't have a Hamid form?
No, they just seem to go between war form and wolf form, and both
Yeah,
forms
not
look
that
wrong.
would seem.
Do you have a pencil and paper?
Yep. She'll pass one.
She will slide from her chair and go crisscross applesauce and just, like a 5-year-old at a craft station, just goes to town on that paper. Silence for about 10 minutes.
Connor rolls over, so his head's like beside her hip, just looking at the paper.
And she draws a fairly accurate picture of a mangy wolf and the Krynos version. Almost dead ringer for
At least
what
one
you
of them,
encountered.
yeah.
Yeah. You're like, oh, yeah, nope, yeah, she got it. She got it. She
That's-
knows what she's
yeah.
looking at.
Yeah, that's about one of them.
That's it.
Okay, so full non-disclosure, I'm not actually originally from this area. I'm over from like Delaware. But so
Shock and amazement.
yeah. we don't tend to stay in one area too long.
No, we don't.
Anyway, I know these things. They are fairly new, last 10 or so years, which I know isn't new like in the grand scheme of things, but we've been fighting since the Ice Age, so fairly new. I think the stupid ass name that they gave them was werewolves.
Oh, what?
Warwolves.
Like werewolf, but stupider.
Yeah.
All right.
Their lab created Guru. And they have all the problems that comes with that. Mainly being no connection to the spirit world and an inability to be part human at all.
So it's basically just a brute force shock trooper then.
Yeah.
What you're saying is not that I would feel horrible about if they were spirals, but what you're saying is these aren't even really people.
Correct. Yeah, it's that's a great way to look at them.
They're
They're experiments. Which playing with that gets a little
right
tricky at times. But yeah, no, I would say that they don't register as people. They don't get a vote.
So
Well, apparently Silver still works on them.
So
good to know.
Let me see if I got this minuscule detail of the whole universe straight. They created themselves, or did somebody create?
No. They were made in a lab somewhere.
Do we know?
No.
Somewhere in Delaware or somewhere just somewhere?
The only reason I bring up Delaware is because this is the last time I saw these things. Where I was originally from.
Presumably some of the servants of the worm got uppity and decided they wanted to try and make their own werewolves.
So we're dealing with like a Frankenstein's monster situation?
Only apparently they can mass produce them. Well, I say mass produce. They can make multiples of them.
Yeah, very much a Frankenstein's monster sort of situation.
But without the sympathy for the monster.
Yeah, or the taking body parts from humans.
Right.
But
as far as I'm aware, they're lab grown, like start to finish.
So they don't even have like. So they must just only have like some kind of primal form of brain if they have one at all.
I would say so.
What happens if you try and just clone the parts of a werewolf that are angry?
They must be so scared.
Wits and empathy difficulty 8 from everybody in the room. Yep.
Diff 3.
1, 2, 3.
2.
2. Okay. Yeah, all of you pick up. There's a definite like change in that goes through her tone after Carrie says they must be so scared. I don't think I've ever thought of it that way.
I mean, one of the most primal emotions on this planet is fear, along with anger.
That's very unfortunate for them.
For the rest of you, what you all get from that is she very clearly did not think that just because they're not human does not mean they cannot experience things the same way.
Yeah.
But you get the thought that perhaps she just thought, oh, they're just nothing but rage and fury. And there's more there But
I mean, that could still be the case.
I mean, even so, but in the spirit of, I mean, they've never had they were created to rage.
Mm-hmm.
They were
Mhm.
created in new four white walls.
Yep.
They any animal that lashes out is doing so to protect itself or to defend itself. It's not doing that. And I'm not any kind of pacifist, you guys know this. But God, how lonely that must be to not even have a concept of
It
people who
sucks.
care about you.
It's a good
It-
thought to have. It's important to know the weight of the thing that you're putting down because otherwise you forget
It
how heavy and dangerous
absolutely
this war is.
sucks.
I'm not saying that justifies anything that they're capable of, but I also don't think that they're not the monsters.
No, they're still the monsters. They're not the worst monsters, but they're still monsters.
That's what I was trying to.
Yeah.
They're not the worst monsters. We can all agree on that.
The weight of their sin lays primarily on the feet of their creators, but it is important to remember the weight of what you put down because when you forget that this war is for a cause and that there is weight behind what you do, you start to walk the spiral.
You become susceptible to walking the spiral. There are a bunch of absolute asshole monsters who will never walk the spiral and never get close to it. That's a different kind of corruption. But yeah, no, it sucks. It's awful. We hate it.
Yeah, no, it's important to remember that while we have to do what we have to do, it's not easy and it shouldn't be.
these are
And-
still living things.
Yep. And to be the bitch about it, there's no chance there's not going to be a chance of reason with them. There's not going to be
I understand that.
the sympathy has to end after this conversation.
I get it.
You can sympathize with something that you still got to put down.
I understand that. I'm not saying,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm not a pacifist. I
No,
get
I
it.
know.
I just
You're horrified at the thought of that existence. I understand.
it just
I absolutely get that.
you get an existence and God,
If it helps,
sorry, it just makes me
I'm thinking about it this way. It helps if they were life created in a lab. I don't think they have souls, so I don't think, or whatever you want to call it. So it's not like it's somebody who could have had a good life, who
I
had that
know.
robbed from
I
them.
know. I just if you'll excuse me. And she just walks to the front. She's not mad. She just needs to
Hmm.
process. So she takes a bottle of water from the fridge and her phone and just sits on the front porch and stares into nothingness.
When that one finally breaks, it's going to be brutal.
Hope she doesn't.
We all break. Don't tell me there's not a point where you didn't break.
Oh, yeah. I I spent like a year just doing whatever I wanted in the Umbra. I think it was a year.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. You can live and die in a day in the Umbra.
Right.
But no, I get it. She will eventually leave the place of sunshine and rainbows and walk here with the rest of us. She's pretty close, but
Put
I,
off as long as we can. Anyways,
yeah,
so
I
killing
congratulate
werewolves.
her. I congratulate her on not being dead inside.
Correct.
As far as I'm aware, they kill just like any other werewolf.
Silver,
Silver in a
beheading,
fire,
fire, toxic
wood
waste.
chipper.
Although I don't think we should use toxic waste as a weapon. That's not good on us either.
Yes, the
Detonate a
change.
nuclear device.
I was about to say the changing breeds, the saviors of humanity. Oh, look, they're jumping from the top ropes with a nuke.
Blow them into enough pieces with conventional explosives. Cool.
I mean,
I got
yeah,
some
I would say
nitroglycerin at the shop.
the fastest way to get rid of a werewolf would probably be rocket launcher.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you know when I find one of those.
If a listen, if a tactical a rocket propelled grenade strikes you in their chest and pulls a Kristen McAuliffe on you and all parts blow everywhere, then you're still dead and it's a one shot. I'm sorry, Katie.
The thing is, I only in stories. I've never actually seen it happen in person, but there are stories of Farah surviving them.
I don't think I'd ever want to meet them. Or the pieces of them, I suppose.
I mean, at least surviving the RPG, I should specify. Getting blown to pieces, I don't know if anyone survives that, but some of them have proven tough enough to not get blown to pieces by the explosion.
Generally, it depends on how much you pay. Never mind. So I don't know where we could. I mean, no, I could probably call up like 3 guys and get a rocket launcher pretty easily. Anybody else feel like reenacting that scene in Buffy?
Yeah.
Like that's
What's that do?
Enough. The answer is enough. Oh, well, you know what, girl? I am happy that I was able to catch up. Oh, little bit of tidbit. Your dad's looking for you.
Fuck me. Why?
Didn't say.
All
I
right.
assume that's not good because usually when I give that kind of news, people are like, "Yay!"
No,
So,
it's fine. I get along okay with him.
Hey,
It's just,
I get it. I get it. I came out as
It's-
a lesbian to my folks, and they kicked me out immediately. You got bad blood. It's fine.
like it's our usual shit. And then also, he's my dad. So,
yeah.
and he wasn't around and my mom died and something else, but mostly just the dad thing. So good to know. I'll keep my taser on me just in case.
That was a stunning bit of deflection.
Oh, we came to terms with it a long time ago. And when I say come to terms, it was fuck you, okay, fair, and then we moved on. Spread out over a period of multiple weeks. But I don't think you wanted the round by round.
No. Well, I mean, As long as it's nothing bad, I suppose.
Yeah, if it's nothing bad, and if he just wants to, he just wants to talk. I'm sure that'll certainly be the case.
Yeah, maybe he just wants to catch up, see what you're doing, trade crochet patterns. I don't know. What the fuck do you do these days?
Drugs,
I don't
apparently.
crochet. But good to know. I will keep an eye out for him.
Alrighty. Well, if there's nothing else, I will be making my way. And any news I should pass along, or was that what?
That was what Doc was here for.
Yeah, you're probably
Gosh.
going to get contacted by Doc with a big update.
And I'm sure it will be just as exhilarating a read as everything else he sent us. Callisto, you are aware that when Doc has information to divulge to people, it is the most textbook. It is like reading a textbook that was written by somebody who you know has a PhD in the topic they're talking about.
And wants to make sure
And you
everybody else
and
knows
yeah,
that you pay
and you can
PhD.
feel that in their. That's sort of the vibe you get from Doc's texting. It is verbose and with a very extensive vocabulary.
And dry as a fucking
And yes,
desert.
dry as the desert.
We call him Doc for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah. we suppose.
Doc and Connor going back and forth consulting about medications for like a veterinary patient. Just two PhDs going back and forth about what drug is probably good for what symptoms.
Ugh.
Well, if that's the
Nope.
case, I guess I'll leave you all to it then.
Cool.
Good luck
Uh,
out there.
I will follow her out.
And she'll go to do that thing where she slides through the door but see you, and
Yeah, no, I'm just walking her out. Nothing, no point. Or nothing I need to talk to her secretly about or anything. Take care of
Carrie
yourself.
can do. Carrie, you see her walk down the steps and just sort of punch two fingers into reality and then rip a door and walk through into the Umbra.
I'll take a seat next to Carrie. How you doing?
Just your everyday existential crisis.
That is, I mean, that's a fair thing to say. Yep, legit.
Both like I I keep thinking I know the reason why I'm a part of this menagerie, and then I lose it again. I'm literally, I'm not having an existential why are we here, why am I here moment. I'm having like, really though, why the fuck am I here?
Do you want the pat answer? Or do you want the annoying answer that's the truth?
I have a
I
feeling
can give you both,
I feel I was say like
but
just lay it on me.
all right. The pat answer is because Gaia, and through Gaia, Raven has decided that you need. It knows that you need to be here, and that we trust them. That you are on the correct path.
I mean, there's not a chance that they dialed the wrong number and this were too embarrassed to say so.
Not likely. Not. I mean, listen. I don't know Raven. obviously, but
Neither do I.
he doesn't seem like the type, based on what I know, to dial wrong numbers. The more infinitely frustrating and less mollifying answer is that is a very good question. And it's one that I don't know that anybody can answer but you. But what I can tell you is that everybody here, everybody in this menagerie, is happy and better for having you here. If I had to if I had to guess at the cosmic reason why you're here,
I can't wait to hear this.
I would say two things. One, you are, listen, I am in Nuisha and everything that is meant to be as far as that goes. I my role is to make make everybody feel a little bit human, not get too full of themselves.
You do a good job of
And
that.
thank you. And make them, by shocking them out of that, potentially look at things a new way. That said, I am still a Nuisha that is fairly set in my Nuisha E ways. So I think your job and Clover's job is to make us look at things different ways.
From a bird's eye view.
From a bird's eye view or just through fresh eyes who aren't inundated and who aren't cursed with the amount of knowledge that we have about how the world works. You don't know how our world works,
No, I don't, and it's very frustrating.
but it's also valuable.
I'm sitting here feeling dumb. Honestly, I'm saying like if I've not literally, but like if I went home today, like nobody would be any worse.
That's 100% not true. And my point being, you are able to show us a way. You're able to present things that we never would have thought of. We would have dismissed them out of hand. That is incredibly important. Even if they're not always, you're going to come up with ideas and you're going to come up, you're going to come in with a perspective of things that aren't based in knowledge. That sounds like an insult. It's not. Um, and you're going to say things like, for example, the notion of sympathy for werewolves. I think that's potentially a dangerous road, but it is something important for us to remember. It might not be much when we're actually in life or death struggle with them, but Callisto's right in that we need to remember those kinds of things because most Guru elders, probably most Garal elders, most Bastet elders, plenty of Nuisha elders wouldn't think of that because they spent too much time fighting things like this. That's a perspective that we need to have. So you are a fresh set of eyes, and in some ways you're a conscience, and we need those. you will learn things. Lack of knowledge is easy to, and I'm not even going to say fix, because that implies that there's something broken there. Giving you knowledge is easy to do. Us getting our innocence back is not easy to do. It's nearly impossible, if not impossible. We need somebody with that.
I mean, it's just only a matter of time before I break, right?
That is absolutely true. But we will do our best to keep that from, we will do our best to hold that off as long as possible, because having that perspective is important. It's valuable. And it's the thing that we want the rest of humanity to hold on to. We become hardened, shooting people in the back of the head and jumping out of windows for the thrill of it people, and all the hardness and lack of caring that comes with that, that requires you to have to do something like that, so that everybody else doesn't ever have to be in that position.
Don't lie. You just want to be the only one with that story.
I don't know what to say right now,
I know.
because I'm in this whole being honest with you in this moment kind of
Sorry.
thing. We're in this groove, Harry, and we want to keep moving on this groove. And now you throw out something like that.
I'm a fuck up, okay?
No, it's fine. But in all seriousness, it's good that you're having this crisis at the moment, no matter how not good it feels.
I mean, I'm really good at having crises. I can do
We've
that every
all,
day.
here's the thing, we've all been there. Maybe not the same way, maybe not because of the same purposes, but we all have absolutely been there before.
I
I
guess.
could tell you stories about what my coming into this world was like. And the level of resentment I have for not knowing before I changed. Obviously, we changed differently than you changed. But the level of resentment about not knowing what was going to happen to me happened before. Like, if I had been told before that, what I wouldn't have lost.
Understandable.
But we were all innocent at some point. And we all went through this and we all fucking hated it. Except for those rare unicorns. And I'm not talking about actual unicorns. To the best of my knowledge, they don't exist, and they certainly don't turn into people if they do.
Why would you? Why would you just stay a unicorn?
Right? There aren't werehorses either that I know. But there are some guru I've seen that have unicorn horns, though. But you don't want to be them because it's a whole thing. Doesn't matter. I'm getting off.
You getting off topic.
You're gonna be okay, and we will help you through it. But don't think that because you don't know this stuff already makes you lesser in any way.
Just I don't like feeling stupid. And I know it's not a stupidity thing, it's a lack of experience thing. I get it, but it just
It doesn't make knowing that doesn't make it feel like less like you're stupid. I get it.
like it's like having to read out loud in class and not and stumbling over the words and
Hmm.
having everybody laugh at you. Like that's and I know that's not the case. And I know nobody's laughing at me and I get it. I just that's not what I want to project.
Right.
I mean, there's a reason why I talk so much and there's a reason I have so much shiny stuff. It's a distraction.
Hmm.
It's a distraction. I can talk your ear off all day long and speak nothing of substance.
Yep.
It's all mirth and no matter.
Just know I don't have an easy answer for that. Again, the non-pat answer is I can't really answer it for you. You do have to answer it yourself. You need to find the answer, but we will help you as much as we can. And we are all better for you being here. And we will just keep lying to yourself about that in your mind that it's I until you believe it because it's not.
They, so basically, what you're saying is fake it till you make it.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I didn't mean to abandon the conversation. I just
Oh no, you're fine. There you do what you have to do in any moment. Because we're all gonna. Anyway, I pat your leg. I am gonna go back inside because that's where my drugs are.
that's where you're what?
That's where my drugs are.
Yeah, I'll come back inside.
You take all the time you need.
No, I'll come back in.
Go. And yeah, head back in.
Was
Because
there
I-
any conversation that was going on inside?
Good question. How conversation ready is Connor at the point of altered state that they're in?
I mean, Connor can hold a conversation even completely blitzed. It's
I just
he is practiced at this.
sorry, I just pictured Connor has somehow found a ball of yarn and is still laying on his back, just like
Oh,
carrying
no.
on a conversation
If-
like this.
Does Callisto want to have a conversation with Connor? Does Callisto need to
Awesome.
have a conversation with Connor?
Not directly. I can't think of anything immediately that comes up, but
Is Ring
Otherwise,
still in the room?
Connor would take the time. He would shift into cat. He would get a little mouse toy out of his bag, shift to cat form, and would be batting around again high.
No, Ringtail is now fascinated with whatever the hell Connor's doing. But yeah, so you guys come back to Callisto and Ringtail just sort of watching Cat Connor chase a mouse around the floor. A fake mouse toy.
And
In
we walked
in
into a
Callisto's-
screensaver.
I say in Callisto's case, she's probably back to reorganizing all of her fucking shit that Ringtail got into.
No, so you guys walk in and Ringtail is just like, "Hi."
I just look over at Carrie and go, yeah, you're clearly the one we need to worry about.
Are you talking about the cat or the raccoon?
Take your pick.
Fair. No.
All right, folks. What's the dealio?
I mean, I figure in the morning we execute our plan to figure out the security situation around Pyramid Lake.
You go. You go to. You go talk to. What's
I-
fucking name?
I go talk to the cairn. You
Yep.
guys and anyone who wants to come with me can as well, and you specifically, anyone that goes with you, decide to inspect without going publicly.
Who wants to try and sneak past a bunch of guru guarding the holy place? Ring.
Ringtail slowly raises his hand.
I mean,
Still
it's
watching
not-
Connor.
It's
I
not
ag-
necessarily
again.
the worst part.
So okay. So top secret place, lots of guru, and we're trying to sneak in.
Oh yeah, to be clear, if you come with me, if their security is actually good and they catch us, we will either be running or get our asses beat. And not in the fun way.
Not in the fun way. There's a.
We will get
They-
the bad pounding.
I'm confused.
Stay confused, Ringtail. Stay confused.
I wish I was.
Okay.
Connor over phone. Trying to sneak past the crew sounds like fun. Knocks the mouse toy over towards Stringtail.
Am I going to have to go because everybody else is going?
No, you can absolutely go with Callisto.
I was about to say I'm taking the public route. I'm going to be going to the Sept of the Towering Giants and asking them to show me around so I can take a look at things.
Yeah, because I the past however long it's been, 24 or 48 hours, however long we were sneaking around that building. Yeah, I'm kind of done with sneaking for a minute.
Sounds good to me.
Ringtail dives after the toy over top of the coffee table. It is not graceful. It doesn't break anything, but it is not graceful.
Ringtail, you're gonna start running out of tab.
What's a tab?
It's where I
Stuff you
keep
have to
track of
pay for.
it's where I keep track of how much money you owe me for all of my shit that you break and or eat.
He does the golden retriever head thing. The what? I don't.
I think
That-
Ringtail should go with you, Callisto, tomorrow.
Callisto raises an eyebrow.
I get to talk with the wolves.
Yes.
Oh, you want to rub it in their face that you guys have a pack totem.
Yes, that is absolutely the reason.
So
Please stop believing everything the Nuisha says to you.
Oh, she said she was your guys' leader. I'm supposed to listen to her, right?
No.
First of all, I never said I was the leader. If you put me in charge, that's on you. But you have not done that, and I am not the leader.
Yeah, I definitely haven't done that, and you're definitely not the leader.
So, a funny thing is my search is inconclusive. That's a catnip mouse. I don't know. My search on if raccoons get high off catnip is inconclusive. Some results suggest that they might. Some results say that don't imply that they don't. I don't know. So Ringtail might be getting high now that he has the toy.
This is wonderful. Well, okay, so if that's not the reason, then why am I important? So why do I have to go with the? Not that I don't love talking to the wolves, but why do I have to talk to the wolves?
Because
I am wondering that myself, to be quite honest.
the more people that we have talking to the Gru, the less that they might have wondering where's the rest of the menagerie.
That, actually, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Um, this is going to sound mean, but I promise it has a purpose. And I promise I'm not trying to be mean. I am just simply concerned.
Okay.
Do we really want to give the raccoon the reason why we're sending the raccoon with myself and Callisto as opposed to not? Do we trust the raccoon to not? I know the raccoon is in the room, but do we trust the raccoon to keep its mouth shut?
Yes,
Hey, I am very good with secrets.
I absolutely trust the
All right, tell
raccoon
me
to
a
keep-
secret.
No, that defeats the purpose.
Okay, you're cleared.
Ugh. All right. And she does give
Random
Crystal
question.
the look that says you owe me.
Random question. Does Carrie perchance know Morse code?
Do I know Morse code?
Does Carrie? Yes.
Don't know.
Okay.
I did not consider that.
There will just be then a series of just very, very light, subtle tappings on the arm that you may or may not know. Like just like through the arms crossed, like next to you, and just sort of tapping in weird random patterns.
Harry
That
looks
stops after a bit.
Harry looks at Crystal and goes in Spanish, and I don't know the Spanish words for all of this.
That's true. Ringtail probably does not know Spanish.
Saying, you can just text me, bitch.
Yeah, that is a fair point.
I
I pull out
I-
my phone and I text.
I think it'd be funny. Connor's specialty for technology is communication, so he probably does know Morse code.
Uh-huh. Probably. So I will text. Carrie gets a text that reads, "The raccoon the raccoon might well fuck up my stealth mission, so it needs to go with you guys."
He doesn't shut up. Please take the raccoon.
Carrie is going to type, "Gee, thanks," with the rolling eyes emoji.
It's fine. He actually the rest of it is all valid, but
It's at this point. He grabs a box and dumps the box of crayons onto the floor, and then starts coloring a picture.
Connor.
Define coloring a picture.
I mean, like he's holding a crayon and rubbing it back and forth over a coloring page.
Okay, it is actually a coloring page. He's not just drawing on my floor.
Or like, oh, these are some very important documents. Well, now it's a horse.
So Jeremy, I imagine the Morse code was tapping out about the raccoon ruining the stealth mission. Connor with his
to be clear,
tap out.
it was like under on my arm, tapping on. Yeah, no, he wasn't going like dee.
I was thinking like against like the arm of like a.
No, it was specifically on Carrie's arm.
Okay, visual a visual tapping, not more than
Yeah.
an actual auditory click.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, never
You're
mind.
high. You'll reveal the information to the raccoon.
No, Connor was gonna tap back. We can always sedate him.
Oh. I mean, that's also fair, but let's not drug our totem.
Connor's
We don't know
solution
what
is
that will do
drugs.
to us.
That's a fair point.
We all take a good nap.
No, I think the more concerning thing is that we will have a high raccoon in our mental link.
Uh-huh.
I said sedated, not just high. They'll be asleep. So it's not so much a high raccoon, it's a sleep talking raccoon.
It also might upset raccoon
Or-
themselves.
Or
and
maybe
let's-
like just don't do anything to the raccoon that could impair its mental functions more than it's already necessary.
But yeah, anyway. Yeah, that text conversation, and I put my phone away. And Clover gets here, we can figure out where by tomorrow we can figure out where Clover goes.
Yeah,
She's
because
been in the Umbra for a bit.
Yeah,
But
she'll be back when she's ready to be back. It'll be fine.
time passes differently there, doesn't it?
It
Mhm.
does. And not consistently.
yeah, she could be there for like 30 years and come out tomorrow.
Or she could be there for
Or have only
5
been there
minutes,
for 5 minutes and come out tomorrow.
or be there for 5 minutes and come out in 1836.
Yeah. It's fun traveling through the Umbra because suddenly you're not in your time anymore.
That is why you always make sure that you don't step off the roads if you can help it.
Yeah, the year
Should
was
I-
1778.
Should I go?
Stay out of the Umbra. Got it.
I'm gonna go see if I can't. Where was your Corax last? Not that
She
one,
would-
the other one.
She
Yeah,
was-
right here, obviously.
She was talking to the tree spirit in the Sept of the Towering Giants.
Right.
Oh, goody. We're going right to her then. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I mean, if she's still there, then we will just pick her up from the Umbra side.
Presumably.
If she's not there, that's a different problem. And we'll handle that when we figure it out.
That's the hope.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah, she'll be fine. Everything's fine.
One day you'll also learn that saying it like that does not make anyone feel better.
I was just mimicking humans.
Yeah, they're
noticed you
really
all
bad
do
at
it.
that.
Yeah.
So if that's all for tonight, I'm gonna fly on home. What time are we meeting tomorrow?
I was gonna leave shortly after sunup, so I would probably be at the cairn and give X travel time that it normally takes to get to the cairn from my house.
About 20 minutes from the cairn.
About 20 minutes after sunup, I'll probably be at the cairn.
Damn early risers. Okay.
I'm a lumberjack. I rise with the sun.
Damn it! You are gonna make me sing, aren't you?
I'm not gonna make you sing.
I'm just saying, are you okay?
I do sleep all night and I do work all day.
Yeah.
And with that, that is where we're going to end for the week. Say goodbye, folks.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.